Hi everyone, this is Zining, and this is the first podcast that I'm going to be doing with my friend here for Asian Film History 50 Films Project, and this is Mei Ying.
Hi.
Okay, so Mei Ying has been, she's been studying audio engineering and has dabbled a bit in film and editing projects as well, doing freelance.
I'm currently studying in SAE Institute Singapore. I actually major in audio engineering. That means I specialize in more of the post-production for the audio side of things in videos and films and music recordings.
So Mei Ying and I just watched the film Mekong Full Moon Party by Jira Maligol. This is a Thai, supposedly comedy film, if you get Thai comedy, and it's a movie that was shown in 2002. So basically the first thing that we could probably talk about, since you're an audio engineering student, is the sound. I think you were talking about how at some parts the audio cut very quickly.
Throughout the movie, I actually did observe that, especially when they go into different scenes, they actually cut the audio, especially the ambient and the background audio, quite abruptly before they go into the next scene. So it's just an observation, and I'm wondering whether it could be a Thai movie kind of style of editing audio for their films, but it's actually an overrunning style throughout the whole movie, so something different.
Do you notice it in other films as well, or is it just something you see?
It's not a very common thing done in a lot of films. Normally they do very smooth fade outs before they transit into other scenes. Either that, or they actually allow the audio for the next scene to leak in first before they actually show the visuals of it. Yeah, but for this movie, they actually abruptly cut it and then they introduce a new sound. Yeah, specifically there were quite a few scenes that I remember. There was a festival scene, and then after that they straight away cut into a room of people clapping, and then the clapping was quite abrupt and sudden and loud. Yeah. And then there was another one with rain, where the rain suddenly comes in without fade, and then...
So does it affect like your viewing experience? Like, you think the lack of continuity is kind of... It makes for worse watching, or it doesn't seem to link the scenes together?
Oh no, I thought it was quite interesting. As in, like, because they did it consistently, so you can actually observe that it's a style of audio editing, where it was intentional that they actually edited it like that.
And we also like noticed that they have a sort of narrative style, in the sense that somebody will start talking and then they will have scenes that are shown while the person is talking.
It's just an observation that most of the time when the movies are related to more myth and folklore, like they tend to have that narrative thing going along where someone is storytelling the movie and then they actually cut into reenacting the myth or a flashback of what happened. I mean, another movie that I find similar, Beowulf. Yeah, although it's not an Asian movie, but yeah, they also do that, where they talk about the myth and then they actually have shots of something happening to support what they're saying, their storytelling.
So what about, you were also talking about the colour scheme in the movie. There's a particular scheme of colours that stand out.
For me, there were two main colour themes I observed during the movie. The cool tones and the warm tones, the blue and the orange. Like in the movie, most of the times, the story is actually happening either in the early morning or in the evening, or when it's raining, because the movie actually goes quite around the theme of rain, right? So actually, if you watch the movie, you realize that it's actually quite bluish throughout the whole thing. And the only time the orange actually comes in quite strongly is whenever they have a shot of the monks in their temples, which is probably contributed to the candle lights they always have in the temples lah. But I think that there must be some form of exaggeration of the mood lighting.
Okay. Yeah. And what exactly does the orange bring out?
Normally orange represents warmth. I guess they just intentionally did the difference quite obviously to just show a difference between the mainland and the monks who were in the island, who knew about the secret, but those in the mainland don't. So maybe there is this subconscious element of difference that the director was trying to bring up.
Yeah. So for me also, the colour, especially in the beginning of the movie, I think when the colour was, when the main character Khan, he was underwater and it was all bluish and
Yeah.
it seemed a bit mystical. So I didn't know whether he was part of the myth or whether that was like the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So another thing that seemed to impress you, or I think it impressed you, was the beginning of the film where they really built up the anticipation of seeing something happening in the front.
I just thought that they had captured the details very well. Or at least for me, I've not really noticed that much of effort in films to actually spend quite a bit of time focusing on so much details of the festivals. Like they actually have shots of just legs dancing. There are shots of kids getting scared of the, what you call it?
Lion.
Yeah, the lion dancers and
yeah.
stuff like that. Like they're just capturing a lot of elements that relate to the festival. It helps you understand actually what's happening. And actually, it does build excitement as an audience watching the movie to anticipate actually the fireball, or at least what the festival is about.
And I guess in that sense, you can, in those few shots, in these opening scenes, and later on the second time when the festival was happening again, you can capture the sense of modernity that they are experiencing. How this small little place, suddenly they are bombarded by tourists. Suddenly, they have to deal with the aspects of modern thinking, like science and people trying to prove their myths wrong.
Yeah.
But you're saying after that you felt a bit disappointed.
Yeah.
That,
Because the next shot after that, where they build up so much anticipation to show the fireball, and then after that, in the end, there wasn't much. I expected more close-ups on the fireball. I didn't see much. It was basically just wide shots with a few lights coming up. Yeah, and I didn't really like the audio related to the fireball igniting. It just felt like a stadium crowd cheering for me.
okay.
Yeah.
And how do you think it should sound like?
I don't know. When I look at the visuals, to me, it sounded more like, fireworks kind of feeling. A little bit more. Like a
Okay.
firework, a bit more fiery ball kind of sound.
Okay.
Than a crowd cheering kind of sound. Yeah. But I've never really seen the real thing. I don't know whether is this true in real life. If really that's the audio, then yeah, I might be wrong.
Okay. So let's go back to the close-up about the fireballs, because I realized that because you mentioned this, then at the end I was able to notice that actually they had a lot of close-ups. So perhaps it is just an intentional choice to say, okay, I'm not going to show the close-ups and I will wait until I build up the emotion at the end, and then when the fireballs really are seen in close-up, you get the sort of pathos.
Perhaps lah, but I think maybe they should have at least showed like one or two close-ups in the front so that we can really understand actually what exactly is going on. I think it does give a bit more information. But that's just my take, it's just my opinion. Maybe they have some other subliminal message going along by shooting it in that way.
Alright, thank you so much, Mei Ying. I
Welcome.
learned a lot today, really. Especially about how the sound effects move together and how all the little details really help in understanding a film and the effects of the film. So thank you very much for listening. Be sure to check out the next podcast.